Hey guys, welcome back to Just Being a Mom podcast and happy Mother's Day. I hope you guys had the most amazing Mother's Day, even though we were like locked inside. I mean, some of y'all was outside, but I'm not gonna say nothing. That's not my business. That's y'all's business. I'm gonna let y'all breathe that little air in first. Y'all got to test it out and then, let me know. I was inside, okay? But I hope you guys are enjoyed your day, whatever it is you wanted to do, you got to do. But next year, we're going balls to the walls, okay? We got to make up for this year, okay? We're going to brunch all day, all you can eat the entire day. But yeah, happy Mother's Day, guys. You guys deserve the best. You're the best moms I know, mainly because you listen to this podcast. And don't forget to do me a huge favor. Give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications because, apparently YouTube likes when you do that. So, thanks for tuning in today. Today on episode 42, we are talking about parenting God's way. So you guys know how much I love Jesus. I love to talk about Jesus. He is my friend. He is everything to me. So why not talk about, parenting his way? And my thing is, why not seek parenting advice from the best parent ever, God, the one who created parenting? He literally left us a manual so we could not mess this up. And look at us, just messing it up. No, you guys are not. Me, it's kind of hit or miss, just all over the place. But if you are not a believer, don't stray away so fast, because there are lots of little gems in here that you can still use to help your parenting, help you parent better if that's what you want. There's still lots of little gems. Don't miss out on the gems here that we are dropping. So I have a few scriptures here that I'm going to share with you guys. You probably know them. It's nothing new. But I just wanted to show you guys how I implement them in my life and in my parenting. So let's get into it. So first scripture is Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. This is number one parenting scripture. If you ever take a parenting class at a church, this is the number one scripture. Is probably on everybody's wall. This is it, okay? So what this means to me, basically, is train up a child in the way he should go. Not the way you want him to go, not the way the dad wants him to go, not the way the world wants him to go, in the way that he should go. And mainly that starts with his purpose. What is his purpose in life? And I ask God every day, show me Elijah's purpose so I can help foster his gifts and help him to grow in his purpose, so I'm not leading him down the wrong path of something that he's gonna hate later. So you want to figure out, I always pray to figure that, he figures out what his gifts are early. I'd hate for him to be 30 like me and still just, flapping in the breeze, figuring it out. And if that's God's will, then I'm okay with that. But, I definitely feel like God has a plan for his life. And if it doesn't come until 40, that's okay. I have to trust God in that, and you do as well. You have to trust whatever God's plan is in your life, and you have to support God, okay? You have to support your child, and you have to support and trust what God is doing in your child's life. He's not going to lead your child astray. Trust and believe. But you have to foster that relationship with God and your child early on, so your child themselves can hear from God, and your child has that relationship, and it's just God is really telling me to do this, Mom. I really want to be a rapper. I'm did you really hear that from God? I don't know if that's what he said, because he didn't say that to me. I don't really want you to be a rapper, friend. But hey, if that is what God is telling him, if he is on fire for God, and this is what God is leading him to, I have to be supportive in that. We have to support our kids, and don't block their blessings. Like, move out of the way. Don't stand in the way of their purpose that God has for their life. That's what the scripture is saying to me, okay? Because a lot of parents do get in the way, and they do like want their child to be like what they never became. And it's just like, you can't do that to your child. You can't force your dreams onto your child. Even though there's been like a lot of documentaries that show like that's bad, like I still see parents doing it. Like, we know like this is a big thing, like parents should not be doing. Like, I feel like that's like the number one rule, like don't force your dreams on your child. Like, this has been like on the news, but people still do it. People still like, but you want your kid to be happy in what they're doing, so let them find the desires of their heart. You know, God will give that to them. And you don't want your kid to, you know, you want them to be a lawyer so bad. You wanted them to go to college so bad, and now they're in debt, and now they're a lawyer, and they're like, hate their life. They work 80 hours a week, and they don't want to, they're not happy. So at the end of the day, you want your child to be happy, and the only way that they could do that is if they're following their purpose, a purpose-fulfilled life. Amen. You gotta hype yourself up. Okay, anyway, so the second scripture is Ephesians 6:4. Fathers, do not provoke your child to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. I feel like I'm in church today. So what this basically means to me is basically just what it says. Do not provoke your child to anger. So unknowingly, you probably do this a lot. You do it with like your parents, your spouse. You know, you just know what buttons to push to like just to get that person over the edge. You know how to make that person upset, you know, and it's just kind of like fighting fire with fire. You already see your child's upset, and now you're just gonna go get even more upset. It's like fighting fire with fire. You can't really, you're provoking the child. You just are making them angrier and angrier. Instead, we should try to bring the levels down and say like, hey, I get it, you're upset. This is how we, and it's how you word it too, this is how we show our anger in this home. We do not raise our voice in this home, and this is how we're gonna handle this situation together. You know, it's all about we, it's all about the unit, it's all about the family structure. You know, it says that in the Bible too, you know, you want your family's number one, and you have to work together to have a strong foundation in your family. And it starts with the we and not the condemning, you know, like a lot of the times kids feel like they're on the outside, and they can't, it's nothing that they can do to please their parents or, you know, be an asset to their family. I always want my kid to feel like, you know, he does have a say in what goes on in his home, and he does, you know, we do respect his opinion. Obviously, we have the final say, but, you know, I want him to have an opinion, to have a voice, and it'll only help him to when he's out in the real world to be able to stand up for himself, to have a voice for himself. I kind of got a little off topic. We were talking about anger, but you see what I'm trying to say. So basically, don't provoke your kid to anger. And it starts like with you. A lot of the time you have you haven't dealt with that trauma from your childhood and your anger issues. And we just need to go spend a little therapy session, you know, have some prayer time, go get a little therapy, figure out what's going on with us that's making us act this way and making us respond this way to negative behavior. And a lot of times, a few therapy sessions and you're good. You apologize to your child, you better your relationship with your child, you grow that relationship and that bond. And it's just like this, like you guys are stuck together, like glue, you know? You guys love each other, you know? Okay, anyways, so the next one is Proverbs 13:24. Whoever spares the rod hates their child, but the one who loves their child is careful to discipline them. Now, we talked about this last week. I'm just going to go over it just a little bit. It does not mean spank. Clearly, this is the NIV, okay, version. It does not mean spank your child. The rod is to guide your child, and I explained this in depth last week. So go listen to my thoughts about spanking. It is just to guide your child. So when your kid gets out of the line a little bit, just, guide them back in line. They get out of the line again, just guide them back in line. And it's okay. It's okay. You don't want to use harsh punishment. It even says, who loves their child is careful to discipline them. So that means consequences that are age appropriate, that are match the offense. So if Elijah's throwing blocks, like I said, if he's throwing blocks at the TV, we're taking away the blocks. No longer playing with the blocks. The consequence has to match the offense and the age of the child. So try to think of some boundaries that you can set with your children, because it's a big thing. Like, you're not supposed to be friends with your kids. I would love to be friends with my kid. Not necessarily, we have to talk, we got to hang out and play video games, but I want him to come talk to me about things. I want him to want to know my opinion. I want him to want to seek advice from me, not necessarily his friends or even his dad. I want him to seek advice from us. And a lot of the times why kids don't is because they don't have that relationship. They don't have that bond with their parent. They're scared what their parents are going to think. They're scared they're going to get judged. They're scared they're going to be in trouble, which they may be in trouble. But at the end of the day, they need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to guide them, not reprimand them every single step of the way. So think about that, especially when you're disciplining your child, because at the end of the day, when your kid is 18 and they leave home, your goal is for them to want to come back. You're gonna want them to come back home eventually. You want your kids to obviously go and be independent and grow in themselves and in the world. But if they have grown up in a home where they can't come back to a loving space and feel safe, then you have some work to do, especially now you're two adults and you have to work on that relationship as two adults, when you could have just been fostering that relationship when they were a kid. And my last scripture is Psalms chapter 127, verse 3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. And I definitely always think about this when Elijah's being naughty. Like, this is my reward? Really? But it is a true gift to have a child. It's a true gift to be a parent. A child, not everybody can do it. Not everybody can have a baby. And if you have a baby, be so grateful that that baby is in your life. Love on that child as much as you can, okay? Because it's a true gift. It's a reward. It clearly says that it's a reward. I like to think about it as a gift. Like, God is gifting me this, trusting me with this child's life, and I need to take care of it. If somebody gives you something, you're gonna take care of it. Like, I like to think about it like this. If you're babysitting somebody else's child, you usually treat that child nicer than you do your own children, right? Because you don't want them to go back and tell their mom, like, hey, Shelby's not the best sitter, So I definitely try to view Elijah, because Elijah's not my property. He's God's property. So I have to take care of him as if he's God's property, as if he's God's property, just like I would do anything else that God has given me. My spouse, my parents, anything, my home, I have to take care of it, and I have to do it in the best way I know possible. So the way I like to think of it, that keeps me, being nice to Elijah. It's like, this is not my child. I have got to love on this baby, and try to get in that mindset of this is not, even though he's obviously your baby, I'm taking care of somebody else's child, and I'm gonna give him back to the world, not of the world. I'm giving back, and I need to make him a productive member of society, So yeah, those are my 4 scriptures. I'm going to put them in the description box so you guys can see them. Like I said, thanks again for listening. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next week. This is great. Bye, guys.